Welcome, my Zentangle friends. My name is Emmy, and you're on the Zen with Emmy channel. I'm real glad you're here. I'm always excited to talk to you and to work side by side with you on projects, and I really do enjoy the color sessions among the best. It's just something we don't get out very often. So I want to go through some of my supplies that I have with you. Any supplies you have, you should know, are going to be just fine. I just want you to be aware of what I'm using today. I really like this color wheel. I got it at a hobby store for less than $1. It is a very helpful thing when I'm concerned about what color do I put with what color to get something new and different, the third color or fourth. I also have a piece of paper that is the same as the one that I'm going to be working on, my drawing. So that really helps me know that these colors are going to work really the same on here as on my drawing. So if you have that, that's swell. If not, a piece of scrap paper will be the perfect thing for today. If you have any little divots or pencil left on your work, just grab your gum eraser. It is a wonderful thing to lift up some of these maybe errant colors that you use, some pencil, and what I do is, look what I'm doing here. I'm just lifting color like that, lifting the black and white off the page without rubbing. Okay, let's talk about the other colors we're going to need today. I'm using a couple of grays. I always have on hand a black and a white. I always like to have on hand 3 in the red family. And that would include yellow or yellow family, whichever you want to call it. I have 3, I actually have 2 in the green family today. Maybe I'll grab another. I have my trusty set right next to me. And I have 3 in the blue family. I'm using Prismacolors because they're waxed base, and I really like the way they flow on most any kind of paper that I'm using. I'm going to use this, I believe, for the outside areas that are where I consider it kind of like shiny copper, like somebody would have polished that. So I'm going to use that yellow maybe. The last thing that I consider to be pretty important is a regular pen. I don't want to use my Micron today because it will gum up. Once I've put, like for instance, I did this and we had all kinds of power failures and things so that I could not finish this with you. So I went ahead and finished this so that I could show you a sample. But then if I have certain colors that get a little dull by the color pencil, I can go over these and sharpen them up. So that always comes in handy, a regular ballpoint black pen to have on hand. Okay. So let's keep in mind, and I'm going to work on this sheet that matches this paper that I'm using. Grab one of your pencils, your color pencils, and let's just have a quickie bring us up to speed so we're all on the same page. Ooh, the only thing I forgot to show you is I use this, and it doesn't matter which one. I just like this one because it has the graphite, but it also has a special side for color. Color pencils have a different kind of wood. The barrel is different. So you would want one that's dedicated to this. If you want things to keep sharp, and you do, you always want your pencils when you're drawing to be very sharp. Okay, so let's just do a tiny bit of practice. And I always draw in a circular method like that. If you draw real light, you have a blue color. If you apply medium pressure, you certainly get another color. If you draw with heavy pressure, then you're going to end up with yet a third color. When you go to blend, use your lightest colors just to get wax on the page. So you go over it once, and let's just say you're going into the green family, just a basic green here. I'm going to go over with the light pressure with my green. And then I'm going to go over it one more time to blend with that first blue that I used. This is a real good basic tutorial. And then I didn't bring my paintbrush here to this party that you and I are having, but I want to get those divots off of there if indeed there are any. And the paintbrush is a real good way to do that. Okay, we are ready to go. So I want to start on this first. I really thought that this was lots of fun. And I want to get some gray on here first, a light gray. So I'm just going to wash it on round and round. Top and bottom, just be kind of casual about it. Does not matter. You're just trying to get a wax base on everything. Use whatever color you have handy. If you don't have any light color, then take a moment and grab white and use white instead. Okay, so I feel like I'm in good shape. I've got gray all over. I'm going to take a minute now and add this reddish shade that I have. And that has a lot of pigment, so I only have to work in the lightest touch. This is so meditational and relaxing. My office is in a loft, and when we have rain, it really can beat on here, and we had a doozy of a storm yesterday, and every time I'd get going drawing this for you and me too, the rain would start again. So I ended up finally bailing on it, deciding I'll do this later. Do you see how I'm getting all those little divots out, the different shades? I'm seeing how this color interacts with my paper. Color pencil does not erase, so do be very careful when you're at the edges like this. Now I think before I go any further, I'm going to get a little bit of green on the edges, like it's, you know, seaweed or lichen, something like that. I think it would be on the edges first, right? Is that logical? And as you noticed, I'm skipping the black. It will not hold color, and it will just make it shiny. So I certainly don't want that. Now, that may be nice and subtle enough. The greens, I mean. Okay, maybe I need a little green here. Wherever there's a crack, right? It seems like the green, the lichen would get in here. That's my thinking anyway. I'm sticking to it. So any of your greens, of course, would work. I just happen to have that one handy. Back to my gray. And let's see what we can do about blending this. So circular motion, pushing the green around into that deep red that I put on the paper. I can go over this quite a few times before it will not act on here anymore. Quite a few times. At some point it probably will stop, but you will very likely stop before it won't receive any more color. Very much depends on the kind of paper you chose to use today or you had available to you. That's kind of fun. If I had to do it again, I'd probably go a little more browns, I think. I'd like the brown a little more than that, but I didn't. So I have a few divots to get off of here. Swoosh them off so that they don't get in my next color. I really think I want all of these things down here to be kind of a tan shade. So I'm going to pull in a little bit more for you. There you go. Now I have to be very careful so that I keep the whole screen handy. Okay, so let's go with something light, like a yellow, and get color on here. Just light yellow. Circular motion, trying hard to just work where I want the yellow to go. Although don't worry about, you can go over this shading part. That'll just enhance the shade and everything else. I'm going to make this quite a dark. Do you see how I'm working quite dark here? Push heavy pressure on these. Heavy pressure. That, I hope, will help these pop off the page, and maybe these little in-between areas too. Gotta have some bright and light in this under the sea. It can't all be quiet. I always want to do this under the sea music here. Kind of want these to keep their gray, so I'm going to get a little bit enhancement. This was, if you remember from our last video, this was shaded. These kind of trumpet flute type things. Again, always circular motion, even if you're just getting in little divot corners. I like the way that looks. I am only using the lightest pressure. If you want to go over it again and do this in a heavier pressure, you'll end up with a little different shade. And then I want to blend this all in with white. See how that changes it all up? That's quite pretty. I'm going to grab something out of the orange family for these rocks down here. Any one you have handy will be just fine, following along with the rocks. Oh, don't those just pop now? They're so pretty. Kind of almost lemony, aren't they? So if I want this to be orange, I'm going to look at my wheel here, because I do have some other things that I could do here. I kind of would like this red orange and add white, and I'll come up with that. Or my yellow, if I had red violet. We'll see if I have a little red violet here. I didn't get it out here, but I do think this Crimson Lake might be. I'm very careful just around the edges. See what I'm doing? Just blending around the edges here, just the smallest amount. Should slide depending on the paper you're using. Isn't that pretty? Maybe I'll make that real deep in those little divot areas between these See how I'm just darkening right in that spot there where these are between? Okay, let's grab the yellow again. Smudge it around. Oh my goodness, is that pretty or what? Feel free to say, well, I don't have that color, and then just use what you do have. My, is that pretty. Okay, I want to do something hot with these fish. Let's get a base on here first. And my base is going to be already hot yellow for the fish, even the faces. Last time I made the fishes very dull. So this time I want to go as bold as I can. Look, I'll show you in just a second here. Okay, I got the yellow on. Look how dull they are. They're fun, but they're dull. So I want to get something bright on here. Keep the yellow handy. The outside edges, I'm going to go with this dark red, just the outside edges. Right where I put that shading last time. This adds to the rounding. Ooh. Very fun. Okay, let's see what happens when I blend them in. Go back with the red again. See, I'm laying the tiniest amount of pigment. Now they're becoming almost, the red and the yellow are almost becoming purple. Do you notice that? Ooh. Very light circular motion, very light. Wow, is that worth it? So his body, or their bodies, they're a pair, are bright yellow, and then the red comes off in the face. Oh, pretty. Oh, serendipity is my friend. Although I knew where we were going, just didn't know exactly how that was going to look. Okay, I would like to get some color in these fans and in these little kelp patterns. So I'm going to start by adding the green in here like this. Just, you see, I'm just getting it in here, and it already was shaded. So I have graphite in here already. I may not be able to do much in these. Sharpen this a little more, I can. Ah. Sorry, everybody. That's a lesson to me. Keep it open. There. Alrighty, I want some of that kelp to have this green shade. And then some of it can be darker. And some of it you may decide to blend the two. Definitely going to blend here. Push that color out into that fan. That was such a sweet pattern. We may use this again in lesson 3 or 4. We'll see. Alrighty, come back with the light. blend the two together some more. Time to get something on this fun pattern here. Now I've got some different shades of blue in here and I quite like that. And I left these printemps white or paper color. So grab your blues, whatever blues you have handy. I have a dark and a medium and a light. So I'm going to end up using all three and very lightly at first. Just go over the whole shebang. See, I'm trying to work circular. Trying to stay away from those printemps. Such a pretty pattern. Okay, now that I've got that first layer of light blue, I want to go with indigo this time, very dark. And I want to go just in the seams with the indigo blue, which is the darkest blue I have. So wherever I have that extra ink, the way the pattern wants it, I'm going to add indigo. Add whatever blue you have on hand, of course. That is really, really pretty. I have a little bit of teal that I think would be real pretty in here. Let's see what I can do with that. That's in the little white spots. I also really do want to keep some light spots in here too. So toward the middle, I don't want to get anything. Ooh, that turned out nice. Okay, so I want to get a dark sky and a light under the water. And remember, I've got all of that churning going on under there too. So I want to add the lightest blue I have, which is this one here. And I'm going to go over all of this paper, all of my drawing, the sky, big circles, get the wax on here. Go, you see how I'm not even worrying? I'm going right over that other one. It won't hurt that at all. If you get in something that's already, that you've worked hard on, just won't hurt it at all. Just go right over it. There, I feel good about that. Now, medium blue. Pay close attention to getting your blue, and I'm using a medium pressure. Pay close attention to getting this on the edges. Do you see how I'm just going around the edges with this medium blue? You can go around as many times as you want. I want that to be even toward the dark pressure a little bit, heavy pressure. I want to do the seagulls. Do you see how that is adding just a tiny bit of pressure? Extra pressure there too. And then the sky here is left light, and I'm deliberately trying to do that. Okay, let's go down below. The first thing I'm going to do is just get medium pressure on the whole thing. Just take your time and enjoy this process. It is a very fun process. If you find you have any weird divots like that one that just appeared out of nowhere for no good reason, just blend it out, blur it out. There. Now, since I have gone around once, I'm going to go around like I did up here with a heavy pressure just around the chest. And around the rocks. Heavy pressure on the border. Don't worry about going over the green or anything else. A little bit won't hurt it at all. It will just blend right off. It's a weird thing how that happens. I am pretty sure you're going to want to do this again without me talking so that you can just meditate, because adding color is such a treat to watch it come alive like this. You can get really lost in this part of the process. Adding heavy pressure wherever I have something on the page. It becomes kind of like its own shading. And you see I am trying to work in a circular motion. This is a little bit of a big area too. Ooh, you can go over this as many times as you like. You might want to grab the white again and just get a little bit of blending going on, because you really do want these areas in the middle to reflect the sky and be light. But we're pretending this is a night scene, right? I love it. I hope you like yours. I hope you sit back and you go, wow, I did that. I want to get a little more dark on here. I'm not happy with this. Makes sense that it'd be kind of dull. And I guess I'd call it variegated, where it was some light areas and some dark areas. It would not necessarily be uniform, I would think. Darker at the hinge marks, right? At the sides, where it's already got its green going on. Okay, time to do the outside. So I wanted to, last time, I went in the green families. You can see I have a brown and then the greens. And I want to try something else. That was fun. But I want to see how the grays and maybe blend in a blue might look this time. So these are the ones I'm going to work with here. They're all nice and sharp. I'm going to get a light gray wash all the way around, skipping the hinges. Work big. Best thing you can to be circular motion. This will take a minute or two. So I'll speed it up and put a little music on. Okay, now that I've gotten myself back, I'm going to go with a darker gray. I'm going to concentrate on medium pressure around the edges with the idea of toward the middle it being lighter. Any divots that I have, you see, I'm trying to get them out with a circular motion. But they should wash pretty well for you now because you've already got that first layer on. I think it's already quite pretty. And I will meet you at the end. Okay, now I'm ready for the blues. So I am gonna, and I need to sharpen my blue. I'm using a light shade of blue. And I'm all, like I did before, just gonna work around the edges here. Blending it in, medium pressure. I thought maybe this might look a little more like steel. That was my thinking. The one I tried last week was more like a copper. That's what I was going for. Artist conception, of course. Staying away from the middle, or if anything, just putting see how I'm doing this very lightly? In a minute, I am gonna come back through here with a gray again and wash over the whole thing. So I will see you then. And there, isn't it beautiful? I like the grays and the blues so much. So I think I'm gonna switch and not do the hot yellow like I did here with marker this time. I think I'm gonna use yellow and orange. And I happen to have those handy. And I think I'll like the way that looks so much better and more interesting to me. So sharpen them up. Always matters. Get your yellow base on here. And I'll meet you in just a second. Okay, I got my yellow on. Now I'm gonna go over my yellow with an orange, paying special attention to the pointy part and the outsides, like that. Ooh, isn't that pretty? Wow. I'm using medium pressure. Might do a little bit here at the base as well, but the fire is definitely in the middle there. Go back to your yellow. Use a medium to a heavy pressure this time. Blend these in. Do you see how they're pushing each other around in the nicest way? And then back to your hot orange. Or even if you happen to have it a tiny bit of red. Oh my goodness, would that be powerful? If you happen to have a red handy, let me just demonstrate for you what'll happen here. See, I want that darkest orange. Do you see what I'm doing here? On the outside edges, because that'll give it a little bit of a rounded look. I have a hot red, not soft red, hot red. Where are you? Poppy red. Yep. I'm gonna put that right here in this corner only. Ooh, is that pretty? I'm gonna do that all the way around. I'm gonna push this yellow. I think I'll leave those yellow. And then blend in my orange, leaving yellow in the middle, like this. I want the ends, each end, to be hot looking, and the rounded corners too. See how I did that? And then red in the corners. Let it wash in. Either get some help from your yellow to blend or white. Either one will be a perfect blender, and heavy pressure on the yellow this time. Oh my goodness, isn't that pretty? I hope you like yours as well as I like mine. I'll see you in a minute. Didn't this turn out sweet? I absolutely love it. My pencils are exhausted and I am ready to switch gears. I hope you have enjoyed this activity today, and I certainly hope to see you on Wednesday for our last of the summer shorts series. And then we will have 2 more, lucky us, times together through the porthole. So looking forward to seeing you soon. Your friend Emmy, that's me, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye.